Well, let me tell you something, brother.
Who are these people?
Notice me, senpai. Notice me.
Don't be rude.
Who are these people?
All right, welcome to another episode of Pro Wrestling Talk. I'm Major Rivera alongside Mrs.Witchy Perfect, and hope everybody's had a great weekend so far. We got a lot to talk about and still a little time to do it, so let's just get into it because Alex will be on about an hour's time, so it's like let's just start the show and let's go from there. Man, not much interesting happened this week on wrestling though, so it's tough for me to find. I could go with the whole CM Punk Logan Paul Vision drama, but we can start there and then go from there, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, if you really thought Logan Paul was going to turn babyface, I got bad news for you. I don't know why they would turn him babyface anyway. Everyone loves to hate him, especially me. The punk kid that I think he is anyway. I mean, I think he should just stick to YouTube. But, you don't see me or Angel getting into wrestling and becoming wrestlers, do you? Not that we couldn't. I'm just saying, it's like just stay in YouTube,
Well, yeah, apparently this week on Raw we had Logan Paul. CM Punk came out, he's the champion, he cuts his promo, then Logan Paul comes out and it sets up a very similar situation that happened with Jey Uso when he was champion. His first opponent was Logan Paul. So most likely Logan Paul is going to do the honors, do the job, and then I don't know what they're going to do after that with him, but because I put the belt on him because Punk just won this thing.
Right. And that would, unless he's working with Seth Rollins to screw Punk, you never know the behind the scenes stuff that's going on, right?
Possibly, yeah. Yeah, so that could be possible, but
did he join the Vision? I don't think so.
I don't know. I mean,
I don't really think so.
They kind of left it open-ended.
Yeah, I think that was just kind of they wanted to leave a cliffhanger and make you think that maybe he would have joined. I just don't see him in the Vision, especially with they could be looking for a new Seth Rollins, but I don't think they're looking for a leader kind of thing. I think they're looking for a follower. So, I think that if he did join, he wouldn't be at the top rung. That would be Braun Breaker. And then, of course, Bronson Reed would be with Braun, but I don't think Bronson is up at that first tier anyway.
No, I mean, I don't think Braun Breaker is going to follow Logan Paul at this point, so no. I don't know what that was for. It seems to be kind of a cliffhanger just to have one for next week, but
it might have been Monday. Just so you think maybe Logan Paul is going to turn babyface, but I don't see him becoming babyface anytime soon. People love to hate Logan Paul, and one of the reasons is because he is someone who's just like bragging, like, "Oh, I got a billion followers or whatever." Yeah, nobody cares, dude.
Yeah,
you either wrestle or you go suck a dick. For all I care,
Yep. So eventually ended up being a tag match, and I don't remember what happened, but somehow Logan Paul hits Punk with the brass knuckles at the end of the match and gives the knuckles to Paul Heyman, and kind of that's the tease to end the show, So that was like, oh, did Logan Paul going to join Division, or what's going to happen here? Find out next week, So it's one of those things, like. But we know when he's not.
See what happens, yeah.
Yeah.
WWE's not stupid, though. I will say some of their storylines, especially on SmackDown, are kind of like, ugh, okay. I mean, because last night, I saw the highlights this morning. They suspended Drew McIntyre. So it was Aleister Black. I don't know why they're pushing Aleister Black, but Aleister Black came out with his wife, Selena, I think is her name. And challenged Cody to a match. I'm thinking, Aleister Black with Cody Rhodes? What the fuck? This isn't AEW. And Cody Rhodes, he's up here. Aleister Black is maybe down here. Okay? In the basement. Okay.
Yeah.
Is- I haven't seen anything impressive about Aleister Black at all since he came back, except that he has
Yeah.
this thing with Priest. Now, I did see Priest come out. Priest was pissed because, Aleister Black set him on fire, supposedly. So here we are with a stupid AEW storyline of setting people on fire. What is promotions? Like, what is their fascination with setting people on fucking fire? AEW does it like incessantly. But now WWE is starting to do it? I don't understand.
uh, I don't know about anything Damian Priest being set on fire unless something that I missed.
Yeah, that was the big thing. They were saying, well, you set Priest on fire. I guess his eye or something.
No, I don't. Oh, that. Oh, okay. I remember now. That was the finish to their match, to their no DQ
Yeah.
match, where he just basically used that fire paper and just set his face on and hit his eye with
Right.
it, kind of like the original Sheik used to do
Right.
with the
So here
fireball. That's what it was. Yeah.
right. So here we go again with the stupid bullshit from AEW where they're setting people on fire now. And they do that incessantly on AEW. There isn't one time where a motherfucker ain't on fire. Or at least
Hmm.
doused in gasoline right before they set his ass on fire, right? So I
Yeah.
mean, it's just it's just I can't even describe it to you. I'm just like, why are we talking? Why are we doing this? Is Aleister Black being elevated to Cody Rhodes's position when he hasn't really shown me dick all of what he can do? He can't
Well,
wrestle,
they have nobody else.
I guess.
I
And now
mean,
they
it's
just
the end of the
suspended
year.
McIntyre.
It's the end of the year. Randy Orton's not coming back probably. He's not turning him heel anyways.
Mhm.
Kevin Owens is gone. He had neck surgery, so he's going to be out for the foreseeable future.
Right, for a long time.
Um, Drew McIntyre's gone. I mean, they're taking him off TV with a suspension, so it's not going to be him.
Right. I
Um,
mean, he must be doing a movie or something or some kind of side gig
yeah,
because that's the only reason I could see them possibly taking him off in the first place. So, I mean, it is what it is, but here we go with the bullshit storylines again and it seems like AEW like they're letting Aleister Black do these stupid shit that they did in AEW and I can't understand why. Like he's not. The thing is, he was not finished with Priest. Priest came out. He was pissed. He really wanted, to beat up Aleister Black, and rightfully so. So here's the thing: you do this stupid shit from AEW, and now you still have the Priest thing. Of course, you still have the Drew McIntyre coming out, and of course,
mm-hmm.
Nick Aldon suspends him indefinitely.
Yeah,
Because I think he probably is doing something for TV or he's doing something, some kind of side gig that he needs to be
probably.
off. Maybe it's like Hollywood-ish. Because I think you said, didn't he have one foot in Hollywood anyway? Wasn't he in something?
He might be in a movie. Even I did hear the movie was delayed until next year due to the injury to the main character, the main actor. But so
Okay.
that film was delayed. It's the one that I know about. I don't know if there's something else that he's doing or what, but
Yeah. There has to be something else because they wouldn't, kick him off and suspend him unless that's just bunk, unless that's just for show and he's going to come back anyway, even though he's suspended.
yeah, that could happen too, where he just shows up every week even though he's suspended and beats up somebody and then immediately gets run off by security, and
Right.
until he gets come back somehow and they have whatever match, either a rematch with Cody or a rematch or some other match or whatever he's gonna have. But
Right.
at this point, it's like he needs a big win. I mean, he's been just losing to Cody now twice now in the last 3 months. So it's like for 2 months.
Yeah,
So
I
it's
don't
like
know what that
how
is,
much
dude.
more losing is he gonna do?
Yeah, I mean, it's just like
So
it reminds me a lot of what's happening with LA Knight. Every time LA Knight comes out for a really big match, he's gonna lose. I feel bad for LA
yeah,
Knight because LA Knight's growing on me.
yeah. So let's see. We have so that happened. I don't remember what else. Raw was just so insignificant this week that other than the Logan Paul CM Punk Vision stuff.
Yeah, I really didn't even
But,
see anything
yeah,
other than I just was sort of interested in the Logan Paul thing, but then I was like, I'm turning this off. I don't even want to see Logan Paul. That's how irrelevant it is. But I did see CM Punk had a good speech, even though
yeah,
I mean it was a long speech, and I was kind of like, all right, Punk, let's wrap this up now, okay? But it was good because I know he's really excited. He got the belt finally. No interference
yeah,
from Seth Rollins, so poo-poo to him. Um, I'm glad that Punk is the champion. It's well deserved, especially after 10 years of being gone from WWE and going to AEW and getting fucked around there and putting up with children, of course.
yeah,
So, so I'm glad that Punk is champ, but it was like, just wrap it up. Come on, boys. And then the
yeah,
whole thing with like Logan Paul, and it's like, all right, we know Logan Paul is not going to turn babyface. I knew that. Everyone knew that. And like I said, I only saw the
yeah.
highlights, so I really didn't see anything of worthiness. I did see on Twitter that Liv Morgan is talking, like she's dancing around the subject of coming back. Is that what I saw? Like she's not
I
talking
didn't see
about when
that.
she comes back. I hope she comes back. I mean, I don't really like Liv Morgan, but no one deserves to be out, with a shoulder injury
I
like that. And that was so brutal.
Yeah, I don't know.
Mhm.
It depends of how quickly she heals. Like, you most likely probably won't see her until the Royal Rumble next year.
Right.
They'll probably keep her out until then, and then have her surprise return at the Women's Royal Rumble match. So yeah, let's see. So WWE did announce. We talked about it last week. They did announce the tournament to decide who John Cena's final opponent is going to be. And so far, the matches are kind of underwhelming. So they did announce Rusev versus Damian Priest in a first round match. Next starts Monday night on Raw, I think, and Sheamus will face Shinsuke Nakamura in opening round matches next week on Raw. So,
Right. This is to find out who Cena's going to face, right? In his
and
last.
his final opponent, yeah,
See, I don't really care about that stuff because I mean it's John Cena, and I don't really like John Cena to begin with. I didn't really like I didn't follow his career. I had really nothing to do with John Cena. Um, but I mean, it is what it is. I saw on X something about Bailey asking when she, could she join or could she get into that tournament? Can he? I was like, I don't think he's going to fight girls.
yeah,
No offense, Bailey. That
no,
would be kind of awesome to see Bailey versus John Cena. I just don't think it's going to happen.
no, yeah. So then they also announced LA Knight versus a mystery opponent. Like, so Nick Aldis picked picked the name of the opponent, but he didn't. He said, "Oh, interesting," and didn't really announce it. So it's a mystery opponent now. So
Any
you have a
guesses?
tournament with we have a tournament with a mystery opponent. So LA
Any
Knight's
guesses?
facing. I mean, there's plenty of speculation going around. Most likely is Gunther, but there's plenty of
It'll be
wild
Gunther.
speculation going on. Like, it's gonna be Edge, or it's gonna be Chris Jericho. It's gonna be uh so the out of the box predictions that they always make on the internet, but it's most likely going to be Gunther.
Could be.
I've had to guess. It's like, oh my god, it's going to be Jericho. Oh my, it's going to be Edge. Like, Edge is still under contract to
Edge
AEW
is
for
still under
years. So
yeah, Edge is still under contract for
yeah,
AEW.
yeah,
Jericho isn't.
yeah,
I would believe it was Jericho more than it was Edge
yeah,
or Cope, whatever he's calling himself now.
yeah. So yeah, Jericho. As far as I know, he doesn't have a contract for AEW, so he's a free agent technically. So. As far as I know, at least. So right now we're kind of Jericho has everybody in limbo to see where he's gonna finish up his wrestling career, because it's probably gonna be his last contract. Like, He's like in his mid-50s already. I don't see him going much longer in the ring.
No offense to Jericho, but I think it should have been like ages ago that he freaking retired. Because nobody likes his shit. Everyone hated his shit in AEW. Even Jim Cornette and them were like, this is shit. It's utter shit. All his ideas, oh, I'm the wizard. I went, oh, God. Just stop.
Yes, sir. There's a mystery opponent rolling around there. Who knows? I don't. There could be anybody, or it could be Gunther. I mean, it could be because surprises are not really Triple H's forte as a booker. It's usually like the standard. Okay, this is gonna happen. This is gonna happen. We have our plan. Nothing's gonna change, and let's just move on. You know.
Right.
So apparently, Cena is going to wrestle. I think he has. Wait, no, I'm confused. He has an appearance coming up at Madison Square Garden for Raw, which is going to be his last. I'm not sure because there were rumors of a Cena versus Dominic Mysterio match for the Intercontinental because that's the one belt Cena never won in his career. So, in order to to have him win the Intercontinental, win every single belt, he can just beat Dominic on Raw for the Intercontinental.
And then give it back when he leaves?
I don't know. I guess because I don't unless he drops it at the. How would that work with his final match? Unless he just forfeits the belt once he retires, and then Triple H will book another tournament to decide the Intercontinental Champion. So it's like,
you got lazy booking. Yeah, I don't know. This is kind of like up in the air. I agree with you. It could be Gunther. Like I said, I am more inclined to believe it's Chris Jericho. Edge is still under contract, and you saw what happened with Andrade going back to AEW, and he was still technically in that contract he had a clause there where he could not go to another wrestling organization.
We discussed Andrade a couple of weeks ago where he got fired, but the problem is he was still within his 90-day no compete, so when he. For some reason, and this is mostly on Tony Khan because he needed to check. Because he's like, oh, I could work whenever that was. September 15th is like, don't you have a 90-day no compete? That's the first thing I would ask. That's standard in WWE contracts. When they fire you, you can't work for 90 days. So they'll pay you the 90 days, but you can't work.
Right. Unless somehow Cope got out of his contract or is out of his contract. I don't know if anyone's checked on that. I don't know how many years he had left on his contract, but if it is true that Edge would come back into this spot, I would need to see if he is cleared from AEW. Because again, the same thing happens there. I'm sure that they say, well, you can go back to WWE, but you have to be clear of your contract regardless. That's with any promotion. That was with the territories back in our day, even though it was a handshake. But I mean, you could go to different places in the territories easier than you could WWE and WCW at the time.
Yeah, but there was really no contract. I mean, hell, there's history of top guys that screwing over promoters because another promoter offered more money. So it's like, where's so and so? Oh, he's gone. He went up to New York. It's like he didn't tell me he's going to New York.
Right.
New York being WWF, by the way, if you guys don't know.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of that in the territories, there weren't even contracts. They were just handshakes.
No.
So that was your contract, was a handshake. If you told a certain promoter, okay, well, it was basically an honor system.
Yeah,
and a lot of guys didn't honor the system.
Problem is, pro wrestlers are con men by they're naturally con men. So it's of course I'll work for you for X amount of dollars, X amount of dates. Oh, Vince Sr. offered me a shit ton more money. Okay, let me fuck off now. Let me not even tell them. But Vince Sr. wouldn't do that. I mean, Vince Sr. usually would let promoters know, hey, look, I want
so and so on
Roddy
these
Piper
dates.
starting on
because they would do that with Andre back in Portland. They would get Andre for from September to I don't know if it was till October, but most of September they would get him. And then, they would call out the dates that they, and we'll see that. I think one of the tag matches, we're just about to watch Buddy Rose turn face, which is spectacular. But anyway, when we watch that on Sunday, because him and I are that one, we're going to be there Sunday. Hopefully Bill will be able to come on too. But yeah, like the thing is that, you know, they would say, oh, well, we have Andre from this date to this date. And that's where they would, you know, just like AWA. AWA was like, well, we always get, you know, Andre from this date to this date. And that's when the Hogan thing turned around and was like, oh, by the way, you know, Hogan doesn't want to honor his dates. I mean, that's where Vern got screwed. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, at least according to Greg, it was the story again. We've told this many times, but the whole Gagne, the whole telegram thing. It's like when Hulk sent the telegram to Vern, all he put was "I quit." There was no signature. There was no name. It was just "I quit." And he's like, "Oh, that's fucking Eddie Graham trolling."
Yeah,
like,
Eddie Graham fucking with me,
like ribbing me.
Throw it away in the trash.
He ignored it.
And
until
that's
he
like
realized
he did that.
Hogan didn't make the town.
Yeah, Hogan didn't make the town, even though it was sold out. They had Andre.
Hogan didn't make the next
Hogan
town.
And Andre. They had all this stuff literally sold out to the bone because everyone wanted to see Hogan versus Andre. They were very, very popular, especially in AEWA. You know, so I don't know that. I mean, it just happened like that. That guys would literally, you know, the handshake didn't really mean anything. It was an honor system.
Yeah, the one thing Vince Jr. did when he got Hogan, he got him under a paper contract. He was one of the first guys he paper contract signed to.
Right.
So he wouldn't be able to leave.
That insurance policy that he was not going to go anywhere. And I don't know how much the contract was for, but Hogan ended up signing it because, I mean, he obviously didn't go anywhere until 1992. And he was there from 84 to 1992 or 91.
No, Hogan left in 94. Was it?
Well, I mean, he would come back a couple times, but I mean, he left in 91 and then he would come back. Yeah. He formally left the company completely. Yeah, in 94. Yeah. Right. That's when he probably signed the contract with Eric Bischoff for a lot more money than Vince had ever dreamed of.
I remember reading Hogan's contract because it was a part of a lawsuit that WCW got sued and Hogan's contract was involved somehow, was evidence. So it was a public record. He made nearly $1 million personal appearance fee for every pay-per-view he was on.
Yeah.
$1 million appearance fee. It wasn't even a salary for pay-per-view, it was an appearance fee. Like, brother, you want me? Got $1 million, you know, give me $1 million. And then you got to pay me 10% of the gate. It's like, what? 10% of the gate? Like, holy fuck.
Yeah.
He made tens of millions of dollars.
And Bischoff did it because Bischoff was just a dick sucker of Hogan. I mean, he would have done anything for Hogan. They were supposedly best friends. They hung out together.
Until Hogan's death, because they created that Real Freestyle Wrestling Federation thing before Hogan passed.
Are they still going on with that? Is that still a thing?
Yeah, that's still going on. They had I think they have 2 shows already in the books, so they have more shows booked. So they're still continuing. So it's not like that went away once Hogan passed. So Bischoff's still running it. All right, let's get back to modern wrestling here. There's multiple names that have been rumored. Ridiculously, the Undertaker's rumored is like for that spot against LA Knight. Are you kidding me? Like, the dude had a heart issue. He nearly died. He's expecting to get back in the ring.
Ric Flair. Ric Flair's been talking about a final match. I'm like, you had a final match, and you almost fucking died in it. You're 76 years old, dude. Just be yourself.
I've told the story. I had an argument with Conrad Thompson over that too, because he's the one that was booking the show, and he's Flair's father-in-law or son-in-law.
Right.
So
son-in-law.
And he's like, well, he wanted to do it. I'm like, no, dude, I say no.
It doesn't matter what he wants to do. He's an old man.
Yeah.
Could you imagine him dying in the ring, and then it would be your fault, Conrad Thompson?
Mm-hmm. He blocked me right after that, though. I was like, oh, he blocked me. Okay.
I think I blocked him because I don't like him. They were talking about Kurt on 83 weeks, and I was like,
Uh-huh.
Bischoff didn't know Kurt very well. So why are you talking about Kurt Hennig when you really didn't know him? You didn't know any kind of the circumstances
Bischoff.
behind any of it, anything.
Trying to think Bischoff's interaction with Kurt. Definitely would have been WCW because they were
Yeah.
together there. But
They
did they
saw each
work
other in
together
the
in
hallways,
AWA?
and they saw each other in the hallways when
Was
Kurt would
was
do
Bischoff and Kurt in AW together or AWA or
like I said,
no?
they when he would do promos, Kurt would do promos for AWA. He
I do
would do
remember
some promos, yeah.
Bischoff might have been there, but I'm not sure whether he was doing interviews then or not. He might have not been. I don't know. I don't remember the timeline exactly when Bischoff was in AWA.
That's what Eric says. Now I take that with a grain of salt because again, I don't really trust Eric Bischoff as far as I can throw my car.
I
The
wouldn't
dude
trust
would just say,
anybody.
"Oh well, I saw him, when we were doing promos." But yeah, of course, he explained, when Kurt came into WCW, that him and his dad, because his father didn't want Eric Bischoff to screw his son, so he took his dad with him because that was kind of like his manager or agent.
Yeah.
So that he knew that Eric Bischoff was not going to screw Kurt in the long run, and I think Kurt got an incredible contract. I don't know how much, but I mean,
Bischoff,
it was significant.
I don't think you want to mess with the Axe, even if it was over by then. But I don't think
No,
you want to
you
mess with him.
didn't. No, you do not want to mess with Larry the
Vince,
Axe. Ugh.
because I know Vince Jr. didn't really screw around Kurt too much. He used him well for the most part in his run. So
The only
when
thing is that he let Hogan axe his push, and that sucked.
Mhm.
Yeah,
That's the only thing. Yeah, that's a good point to bring up.
yeah. But
But Vince
other
Jr.
than that, well,
used
Vince
them well for the
Jr.
most part.
used him well, but then also he loved Kurt. I'm not sure what I don't think it had anything to do with Larry the Axe. It had more to do with Kurt's personality, and Kurt really loved everybody. So he was
And
nice to everybody. He had
and
a great sense of humor. But
yeah, him and Vince worked on commentary together for years. When
right,
Kurt hurt his
and
back,
I
so
heard a
that's
story, I think from Larry the Axe. He said when they were at Kurt's funeral, and I'm sorry to bring this up, but when they were at Kurt's funeral, Vince actually was crying and hugged Larry the Axe.
wow.
So he and Larry the Axe said, I was, stunned that he would even come over and start bawling because of, but again, he worked with him on commentary, and when you work with someone like that, you can get close to them, especially, I'm not saying that they were like best friends or anything, but I'm saying like, Vince, I'm sure would bounce ideas off of Kurt, and Kurt would bounce off the ideas off of Vince. And, when you have like that kind of chemistry, like he did with Vince on Superstars and Primetime Wrestling, of course, you're going to, get that closeness in there to, but that surprised me too. I mean, I was like, wow, Vince actually cried at Kurt's funeral. I mean, I can't believe that.
I think there was one other time where Vince openly cried when Andre died, because he was really close to Andre too.
He was really, really close to Andre. Yep.
I'm not sure how Vince would react to Hulk's death. Because they were best friends and they hated each other. There was a love-hate relationship there.
There was a love-hate relationship, and if you think about it, Hogan did the same thing to Vince in '93 and '94 that he did with Vern.
Yes.
Yeah,
So
Vince was like, "Oh, I'm going to screw Vern Gagne," and then Hogan ended up leaving for WCW and screwing Vince McMahon. So I mean,
oh shit.
Yeah. Oh, now it's like, I'm the aggrieved. I was the mistress. I was the mistress, and now I'm the aggrieved wife. Right.
Yeah. So Hulk was gone, and by that point, by '94, it was the new generation. Was the Bret Harts, the Shawn Michaels, the Diesels, the Razors.
Yep. Scott Hall.
Yeah, same person. But
Kevin
yeah,
Nash. The 1, 2, 3 Kid was starting to get some popularity. Sean Waltman.
1, 2, 3 Kid was started around that time too.
I want to say even Owens was sort of gaining traction there. Him and Bret were kind of
Owen started in the early '90s too. I remember him debuting with Jim in the New Foundation. Those terrible get-ups that Vince had them put on. Remember those get-ups? I'm not sure you remember
Yeah.
them. They were
Yeah.
like they were awful. They were like that's when Owen first really debuted. And then he was the Blue Blazer for a while, or he might have debuted as Blue Blazer, and then he became Owen later on. But
Yeah, because at WrestleMania 5, it was him and Kurt. He was the Blue Blazer, and he actually came
yeah,
in. He had a streak too. Goldberg. We heard about the Goldberg thing, bitching about oh, Asuka. I don't know if we talked about it, but he was bitching about
yeah, we
Asuka
brought
having a
it up.
streak and surpassing his streak. Dude, really go suck a dick. First of all, Mr. Perfect came in with a better record and a real record. A perfect record. I mean, until a Beefcake. So that was like a year and a half, almost 2 years that Kurt had this perfect record. So
Yeah,
right there, Kurt beat the fucking pants off of you, and you weren't even in wrestling yet. So that's what I'm saying. Like, he thinks he was the big shit and the big dog. You were nothing. My tears are reserved for wrestlers. I never got into my office. Ew. I think Kurt would even be like, no. Unless you're talking about Shawn Michaels,
yeah.
that's the only one I've kind of heard a rumor about, him and Shawn. But
Fuck, even Bret Hart was asked about this, about how inordinate amount of time that Shawn would spend in
yeah.
Vince's office. So like,
Yeah.
it could have been something gay. I don't know. Bret even said it could have been some homosexual. I don't know. I mean, I wasn't there, but I did hear. I did know that Shawn spent a lot of time at Vince's office. So I
Right.
don't know. But,
Right. And Vince had a gay encounter. That's where Goldust came from.
yeah.
That's where he had this gay encounter, and
Nash,
that's where Goldust came from.
He told the story. I think it was to Nash and Hall. I think, or he's like, "Did I tell you about my first gay encounter?" And he's like, "No." It was like, well, he told the story about he was hitchhiking in the '50s, and he got in a trucker, and the trucker touched him, down there, and it came kind of touchy feely. Basically, that was the story Vince had, and Nash like, oh, I don't want to know. I don't know about
I don't want to know this. This is too personal for me. So I think that even if you had that, I didn't mean closeness like gay stuff. I didn't mean like that. But I mean, it's kind of like him and Jesse. Like, Jesse still to this day says, I love, talking with Vince McMahon on commentary. I love telling my boss to basically to fuck off with it, but nicely. He would say, whatever, McMahon, that kind of thing. But Jesse never once says, working with Vince was awful, blah, blah, blah. He didn't like the fact that he was fired. Obviously, no one would want that. But I mean, even Jesse Ventura was kind of like, I loved being on commentary with Vince because I could say anything I wanted to, basically.
Vince, and I think Lawler, or is it Lawler or somebody, another color guy Vince worked with said, "Hey, look, you can say whatever you want about me. Make run down my toupee," because everybody thought Vince had a toupee, so he would say, "Just use it. Yeah, go ahead, use whatever you want." So and the heels were just going nuts on McMahon. They're like, "This is my boss. I get to do whatever I want.
I get to say whatever I want." And Kurt was no exception. Kurt was like that. Oh, because they tried that thing with Jesse where they tried to give him a script, and this is what Jesse says, and this is what and he's like, Jesse Ventura would never use a script.
What's this?
So they tossed the script out and said, "All right, fine, Jesse, say whatever you want to." But then they did that with Kurt too, so I think it was like Jesse paved the way for that to happen so that they were able to, get, their own way of speaking. But then again, Kurt was a wrestler. Jesse was a wrestler. They knew the wrestling holds. They knew the wrestling moves. And so having a heel announcer to kind of bounce ideas off of Vince and kind of, banter back and forth. I mean, the banters were good. They actually coincided with each other. And that's why I think, Vince was kind of very emotional because again, Kurt was a great man. He was a great guy. He was always nice to everybody. I've never heard anyone say a mean word about Kurt Hennig, to be honest. And I've seen a lot of interviews about Kurt Hennig.
Yeah, I haven't either. Yeah,
everyone was like, he was such a great guy. Yeah, I mean, he did his shenanigans, but that's everyone knows that Kurt was the king of ribs. I would love to hear some against Vince, but I don't think Vince is going to talk.
There's allegedly Vince is writing a tell-all book about his career in wrestling. Allegedly, I mean, I don't know. I don't believe. Unless if that book comes out, I would buy it. I'd be curious to see his version of.
I would buy the audio part.
Yeah, I
might
would
buy
want to
it.
hear his version of a lot of the. Even though he did that documentary a little bit, but he didn't really talk. He's like,
But
he
yeah,
kind
he
of.
was like, I wish I could tell you the things. Well, Vince, this is what we're doing. We're doing a documentary
No,
about you, dumbass.
right? No, pal, I can't. I would like to, but I can't. Like, then what we doing here, Vince? I mean,
Yeah,
you
what are we
just
doing here,
build.
Vince? I mean, that's
So yeah, bringing
if
up
he
you
had
brought
a
up
section,
Jesse.
if he had a section just dedicated to Kurt, I wouldn't be surprised because again, I was shocked when I heard it. But if you want to go on, I think it's titlematch.com. Listen to some of those interviews. They do have Larry the Axe interview in there, and he
Yeah.
talks about how Vince was at Kurt's funeral and just lost it.
So bringing up Jesse, I mean, we talked about last week how he didn't appear on Saturday Night's Main Event, and then on Twitter I saw like, well, his contract expired, and they mutually
That's
agreed.
the rumor that's going around
Yeah,
now is
they
that his
mutually agreed not to
contract
renew.
expired.
So both sides mutually agreed not to renew. So that's
Mhm.
why he wasn't used, and he's not going to be used again going forward. So
Vince
I don't know how I
McMahon,
believe.
shut up. Sorry.
Jesse went all woke, started talking about healthcare and compensation like a commie.
Well, what's wrong with being a commie? Anyway, every page is just a hand-drawn dick that visited my office. I remember that. Remember when they were talking about that Vince had dildos and he would name them after wrestlers?
Yeah, that
Like
was
all
in
these
the Janelle Grant
dildos?
lawsuit. That was in Janelle Grant
Ah,
lawsuit. It was like,
that's what that makes me think of. Comment. Oh my god.
that allegedly
Ugh.
Vince has dildos and he names them. He names his wrestlers after them. So it's
Yeah, like the big dick is the giant or the Big Show or something.
mm-hmm.
Not the giant. Even Eric Bischoff was kind of like, "I'm suing you," you know, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oops.
So yeah, I don't know what's happening with that civil lawsuit because initially her lawyer agreed to pause the case in order for the criminal case to be investigated, but that criminal case been dropped. President Trump made sure of that. So it's like
Shocker.
the president made sure of that. So now the question is
So,
that civil case is back on again. It could be.
yeah, we haven't heard anything about that civil case. I
Yeah.
would be interested in seeing if maybe they dropped that too, because again, Trump had influence. The thing is, would anyone be shocked? And I'm talking seriously now. Would anyone be shocked if they actually did release the Epstein files? They're not going to, but if they ever did, would anyone be surprised if Vincent Kennedy McMahon's name was on there? With the Ring Boy scandal and all this
If he look here's
bullshit.
the reason why I would be shocked because I don't think Vince had time to party or to fly to Epstein's Island like that. Wouldn't he have time? He was always working.
Well, I don't mean like, but I don't mean like he went to Epstein's Island. I mean like he actually called Epstein up. Yeah, can I have so and so and a bunch of
Oh,
underage. I don't know.
okay. If
Like he
that's the
could have
case,
ordered that. Yeah, he could have ordered them
it may
over
be that
that.
way, yeah. But I don't see him going to Epstein's Island. He had no
Oh
time.
no, I don't mean that. I mean like he just like Prince Andrew, or he's not Prince Andrew anymore. He's Andrew something
Yeah,
or
he
other.
got. He
Just
got.
called him up and like, hey, can I have a bunch of 17-year-olds? I mean, would
Yeah,
anyone
I
really
could
be
see
shocked
that.
that Vince did
No,
that?
because especially back in the 80s and 90s, Vince was always working, or he was on trial for the steroid thing. So he didn't have time to be flying to some
Sure
private
you do,
island.
Vince. Sure you do,
So,
Vince. I'm just saying,
so
I would not be
oh, I
surprised
wouldn't be surprised if
if
like
his
how
name
you
was
said
on
it. Yeah,
Epstein, client list.
yeah, but
Not that he went
yeah,
to
so,
Epstein Island. I don't believe that. But I do think that he could have just called up and said, hey, Epstein, get me a bunch of,
yeah,
girls.
yeah, maybe. I mean, that's definitely a possibility.
I mean, he's
Let's
friends with
see.
Trump, and Trump is one.
Yeah. Oh, so yeah. This Wednesday, this coming Wednesday on Dynamite, they're having a women's blood and guts match, which is basically their version of War Games. So it's AEW's version of War Games. So there's a women's blood and guts match. I guarantee you, these women are going to bleed like stuffed pigs. I mean, they're going to. It's going to be disgusting. It's going to be on
Hey, they have
Dynamite
to have
too.
the diversity, right?
It's going to be on free TV too, not on pay per view, which is surprising. They're giving it away on Dynamite. So
And
I'm
I'm sure.
guessing this is how desperate Tony is for ratings because
Well,
the ratings
that's
keep
not going
going
to get
down
him any
every week.
ratings. That's just going to turn people off. Who wants to see women bleed? But I guess it's an equal opportunity employer, right? Well, if you're a guy, you can bleed. And if you're a girl, you can bleed. I don't understand. Why don't you just wrestle? That's what we're here for. We don't want the stupid blood and guts shit.
Yeah, so they're planning a
First of all, I want to ask this a serious question for anyone who out there who watches AEW. When you see a vignette of Darby Allin getting his hand or head rammed into a window, and you see blood and guts and everything else flying around, tell me how you actually believe that he came out and was walking. He was walking to the ring. Tell me how you believe any of that shit was real after he literally just had his head rammed into a window and you see blood flying everywhere and you don't think that guy's not dead. Tell me how you believe that guy's still alive and even getting up and walking. Because that's what I want to know. I want to know how you guys believe this shit when it's literally shit. Any real person, any person who gets their head rammed into a window and you see blood flying everywhere, that dude's dead. Okay, call the mortician. Call the coroner is what they're called. Call the coroner because that guy is definitely done for. But no, they literally a few hours later, here comes Darby Allin walking out with blood still kind of on his head. Who believes this shit? Who believes that's real? What, he's superhuman? I don't think so.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense, but that's what they're doing over there. So they're having a women's blood and guts match at the pay-per-view. Not the pay-per-view. I think it's next Wednesday on Dynamite. So they're
so
going.
Here we go with more bullshit. Girls are just going to be beating the shit out of each other. There's going to be blood everywhere, and no one's going to believe a goddamn thing because it's all bullshit.
Yeah.
I don't want to see girls bleed. I just want to see a good storyline. They were doing a good storyline with Stephanie Valkyrie, but the Rhea Ripley thing, no.
Yeah.
And I don't even really watch girl wrestling because I don't understand the need to have their asses hanging out.
Yeah.
I don't understand that. Why can't they just wear what they used to wear back in the 80s? I don't understand.
Yeah, so the match is taking place in. Oh, by the way, the match is taking place in Greensboro. So it's the first War Games was in Greensboro, I think. So
Of course, and they're trying to stay relevant, but their ratings.
They're ripping off
opposite.
Crockett, what they did in Crockett. Dusty did in Crockett because Dusty created the War Games match, so that was his concept. So
I know a lot of guys that want to see that witchy, but not bleeding that comes from wrestling. What?
oh well.
Nobody's seeing me except for my soon-to-be husband. Okay. But anyway, I can't get into AEW. I hear about it from Jim Cornette. I'm so glad I don't watch it. The other thing they talked about AEW was the fact that people were getting refunds from Amazon. Did you hear about this?
Yeah.
That somehow Amazon was glitching and they didn't see the end of the Darby Allin and Jon Moxley match, and they were giving people like $15. Brian Last got $15, and then he got the whole full refund. So he actually made $15.
He was joking around. He made a profit watching the
pay-per-view.
Because he got a $15 credit initially, then he got the whole thing back.
Then he got the whole thing back. So they were kind of speculating, like, who's paying for that? Who's paying for? Is it Amazon that's paying for it out of their pocket? And then we're like, wow, If it's just Amazon and it's not Tony Khan, I mean, wow, what does that say for Amazon? I mean, not that Jeff Bezos can't afford it. Trust me, Jeff Bezos is more rich than anybody. But I mean, the fact that they are giving these, I mean, they're $50. They're $50 per pay-per-view.
Yeah, so
if it fucks up and you can't watch that, I would be mad if that is something I watched, but I wouldn't watch that shit even if you paid for it for me.
So basically, it's a special episode of Dynamite called Blood and Guts. So it's this Wednesday from Greensboro, North Carolina, which is the first War Games match Dusty did. It was in Greensboro, I believe. And it'll take place in the First Horizon Coliseum in Greensboro, North Carolina. It's a small building, looks like here. So there's 3 matches booked so far. It's a Falls Count Anywhere match between Hangman Adam Page and Powerhouse Hobbs. So again, a gimmick match. And then there's the 2 Blood and Guts match, the men's and the women's. So the men has Darby Allin, Roderick Strong, and the conglomeration, Mark Briscoe, Orange Cassidy, Kyle O'Reilly, versus the Death Riders, John Moxley, Claudio Castagnoli, Wheeler Yuta, Daniel Garcia, and Pac. Jesus.
And I hope they all kill each other.
The Death Riders are still a thing.
We're headed. You know, we're gonna have to kill someone to keep going and overdoing themselves or to outdo themselves from what they did the last time with a fish tank and something else. What else did they do to Darby Allin other than the fish tank?
I don't know.
What didn't they do to Darby Allin in that fish tank? But I mean, to outdo themselves, we're going at the pace of they're gonna have to kill each other on literally on TV.
There's 3 matches listed and they're all gimmick matches. I mean, you're already doing too much with 2 Blood and Guts matches. Because these matches are going to be brutal to the point where it might be even uncomfortable to watch because the men have to top the women and the women want to top the men. So it's like, oh my God.
Tony Storm's going to be bleeding and probably someone's going to lick her blood off of her face.
Yeah.
Again, if you want your vampirism, do it somewhere else.
I may end up putting this on out of morbid curiosity, but I'm just morbidly curious, see what would happen to.
Okay, you have fun. I'm not gonna watch that.
So we have the women's Blood and Guts match. It's Jamie Hayter, Willow Nightingale, Hardly Cameron, Chris Statlander, the champion, and Timeless Love Bombs, Timeless Tony Storm, and Mina Shirakawa versus the Triangle of Madness, Julia Hart, Sky Blue, and Tekla. Megan Bain, Marina Shafir, and Mercedes Moné's in this match too. So Mercedes probably going to win this match somehow. Get the pin. So
because she is the new Hulk Hogan and won't do a freaking job to anybody. She got fucking 12 belts to prove it.
Mm-hmm.
She may have 14 by now. I don't know. They were talking about that. I'm like, she's just the new Hogan. She don't want to do no jobs because what is she now? She has all these belts. You think she's going to give them back? You think she's going to go do a job for your champion now? No, she's going to keep these damn belts. You idiot.
There's no benefit if you're an indie promoter, put your belt on her. Yes, it'll end up on Dynamite, but the commentators aren't going to mention your promotion most likely.
Exactly.
They say, look at the 12 belts Mercedes has, and she'll have her bodyguards. She had male bodyguards like holding up all her belts. So it's like, she has so many belts she can't hold them all now. So it's like that's all. It'll be barely appear on television on one of these muscle dudes.
And no one's going to look you up. Parts. No one's going to ask who these belts are. And she's not going to give them back. She's like literally the worse than Hulk Hogan who won't do a job.
But Hulk never felt the need to have 12 belts at the same time.
That's true. The only one who seemed to do that was Ultimo Dragon, but he had it for all the Japan belts, I think.
Yeah, he had a bunch of belts from Japan, and Kenny Omega. Kenny Omega collected a few years ago. He collected 6 or 7 world titles from around the world. He was called the Cleaner because he had all the world titles. So
he's a pedophile. Okay, I don't know any wrestler that would literally go over to Japan. Name me any wrestler from our area, not you specifically, but if you can in the comment section, if you guys can figure out any wrestler during our era that would go over to Japan and wrestle Japanese girls, 9-year-old Japanese girls. I don't know any wrestler from my era that would do that.
No.
because they know the
And-
consequences.
And this is why, I mean, the entire elite, Omega, the Bucks, and Hangman Adam Page. This is why, if it were 40 years ago, they never would have been broken into wrestling. I mean, they would have been like shipped out quicker than they'd be the first rejects probably, because it's like this is the type of shit they want to do. And I don't put technically Cody's part of the elite too, but I don't put him there because he's the only one that's has any brains whatsoever. So
Yeah, to get out of it because it was a sucky ass idea.
technically, Cody it was a part of the elites because when he left WWE, he got in with the Bucks and Omega, but he's the only one that had any brains. So that's why that's why AEW started. He was the one that had the idea, but he needed a financial backer, and they found Mark over here, Tony Khan from Jacksonville. He had all the money and was like,
His dad did. Yeah.
Well, yeah, but Daddy wanted to see his son spend his inheritance while he was living, so that's why he agreed to basically fund the entire thing. And it makes no difference to him because AEW is a tax write-off because it never makes any money. So it's like, who cares?
Right.
I mean, it's a
It
tax
actually
write-off.
loses millions of dollars than it does bringing in millions of dollars.
Mm-hmm.
Unlike WWE, which again, I don't know how anyone can afford. I mean, Cena's last match, they looked up tickets for that, or the VIP tickets, and it's like having a small car without the car. Who can afford that now? People can barely just make ends meet.
Well, WWE is, or TKO is turning WWE into the NFL, NBA, Major League Baseball. I mean, you can't go to a professional sport league without,
without taking a small loan or something out.
If you're going to Madison Square Garden to watch the Knicks play, it's going to run you a couple $1,000s.
Yeah,
and that's not even courtside seats. I mean, so
like I said, my dad and I looked up Raw for New York City. This is New York City.
Madison Square Garden show, yeah.
And literally, we saw a ticket. The closest we could get was row 4, and it was $352 plus for one ticket. One ticket. Who the hell has that kind of money?
You want to go 3 to 4 people. It's like $1,000 it runs you to go to if you want to take an entire family.
And we just don't have that kind of money. I wouldn't even have that kind of money.
So the one thing Vince understood is the families. That's why he never charged a lot for seats. I mean, even WrestleMania, they were pretty cheap.
Yeah.
In the early days, at least. Because he understood he wanted to get the families in because those kids would demand, oh, mommy, give me Hogan's shirt or, give me merch.
Yeah, I want to go get merch. I want to go get this. I want to go I want to get them foam fingers, the things they used to sell in the 90s.
So Vince rarely made money off the tickets itself. It was about the merch. Once you add in the merch and you add in everything, the programs and stuff, that's where the profit came in for the show, not the ticket sales itself. You got to get people in the building.
And that's why there was goal. Wrestlers would wrestle 350 some days a year because they were doing more house shows than they were TV.
TKO's idea, do less house shows, a lot less house shows, and artificially jack up the ticket prices because you want to see your favorite superstars. You only could do it 80 to 150 times a year, so you'll have to, pay out of your ass in order to go see your favorite wrestlers.
Yeah, you literally have to take out a loan for a house without the house.
So for the Cena match, there's rumors that Donald Trump might be there since in Washington D.C.
Oh yeah,
but we'll see.
Vince, it was Vince and
Vince
and
Trump
Donald
would be in the building. Yeah. So those are rumors. I mean, they'll take that with a grain of salt, but it'd be interesting to watch that Saturday night's main event next month. To see
Triple H is all over Donald Trump. He can't stop gushing over Donald Trump, so I know Trump will be there. Triple H is literally rubbing shoulders with pedophiles.
In fact, he hasn't been. Allegedly, he has not been backstage the last 2 or 3 weeks. Like he's been busy with political stuff for the administration. I'm like, what? It's like he's not been. So who's running the show? Bruce? I assume Bruce Pritchard is. I mean, because Bruce is second in command.
I don't know who's in second command and who's in third, but
it would have to be Bruce. He's been there for decades. He's been on and off for decades in WWE.
Yeah, I don't
so
know. And this
he'd be the one that's second in command.
Whatever they're doing, sorry, it ain't working because it's getting worse and worse. And I'm just like, why am I watching this shit? And I only watch the certain segments that I want to watch. I have not watched anything with Tiffy Stratton or Jade Cargill. I just know Jade won the belt. That's it. I haven't seen anything after that.
Jade cut a promo on SmackDown. It reminded me of her AEW run. It's exactly the same attitude and exactly the same promo, but it's a larger audience. It may work, especially if they keep her matches between 5 and 10 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
They try to have her 30-minute matches. It's going to be a disaster.
Right.
So she has to come in, beat up the girl, pin her, get out in 10 minutes. That's the goal. If you're going to have her go 20 minutes, it's going to be embarrassing. So you just get out, get in, get out, beat her, she could be champion for a long time, but
right. And
she got to be booked like Goldberg, basically.
But this
like
is
5 or 10 minutes.
This is where it ends, because once she's champion for however long they decide to keep her champion, that's pretty much it. That's all you can do with her, because she can't have these kind of matches that Bret Hart could have or Kurt Hennig could have. She's not a technician. She wasn't even good in AEW. That's why I write her off as, once they're done with this title run, and it could be a year from now, it could be 2 years from now, who knows? But just like Tiffy, Tiffy Stratton, once they're done with this title run, that's it. C'est la vie.
I don't know what they're gonna do with Stratton. I mean, it's because unless they want to keep beating her with Jade,
I don't know what they're going to do with Jade after they take the belt off of her. I mean, they still have Nia Jax, and I think Nia Jax is completely done, because she's not in any title matches anymore. And I mean, of course, still calls her.
She appeared. She appeared on SmackDown.
Yeah, she was on. She was against someone else.
They debuted
Alexa Bliss. She was against Alexa Bliss.
She's wrestling
2 weeks ago.
They debuted what's her face, and one from the big girl from NXT. She's black. I forget her name right now. I forget her name, but it's a 6 foot tall girl, and she choked out Alexa Bliss.
Right.
So I guess they're going to be a tag team now. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, let me get Alex in here. I know he's here. Give me a minute. And just
hi, little brother.
Hey. Can you stall for me for a minute? I gotta go to the bathroom.
Yeah, sure.
So, excuse me.
We can talk about Kurt Hennig. My favorite subject. But actually, I only want to bring up this, the fact, and Angel, when he comes back, will love this, because the anniversary of Brett and Kurt's match at, it was on Primetime Wrestling on November 6th, 1989. It was their match where Kurt actually won. So that Peter version 1, it was like, Kurt never beat Brett. Actually, he did. This is the only match, but it was a great match. I liked the part where Kurt was like, I'm going to finish this piece of shit off. So there was that. So if you guys get a chance, you can follow me on X. It's at Mrs.Witchy Perfect. All right, Mrs. Perfect or something. I'm not sure. Hang on, I have to check. But also, just a little shameless plugs here for me. I have episode 112 coming out, and it is on Sunday. So 112 is coming up, and it's Portland Courthouse Clash Hennig and Hayes versus Rip Oliver and the Assassin. It is, about their tag team matches and stuff. So look for that. That will be coming out Sunday at 9:00 on Rumble, and then Thursday at 8:00 in the morning on YouTube. Again, we do go over some matches for Bret Hart. We went back to 1987, so we will be watching some Bret Hart Foundation matches. So if you can check that out, check that out. Also, this Sunday, we are going to record an episode with the lovely Angel Rivera, who is going to help me. We're going to talk about I found the Sergeant Slaughter thing, where he admits that the Ultimate Warrior was supposed to win at the Royal Rumble 1991. We will be talking about that. And then also showing some Hart Foundation matches, because I have a few more that I want us to do from 1987. And then, of course, I want to talk about. We'll do the. I think it's the match where they actually turn Buddy Rose from Portland. They turn him face. So that'll be like our main event thing. But yeah, we're definitely going to watch some matches from like 1987. It was the Hart Foundation versus the Rougeos a couple times against the British Bulldogs a couple of times. So if you want to follow me, you can follow me at Kurt Podcast 0420. That's my handle for X. So if you would like to follow me, go ahead and follow me.
All right. There you go. So yeah. So that'll be that.
I do agree with you, Vince McMahon's evil mustache, that I like women with muscles.
Yeah, so we're about to wrap up here. We're gonna go to the other platforms. So yeah, pretty much.
Well, apparently he wants to see me. He's like, I know a lot of guys that want to see that witchy, but not bleeding that comes from wrestling. I was like, nobody sees me except for my soon-to-be husband. All right.
Also, Angel, have I seen some videos from Kick and from Twitch? Some of the wrestling videos were they deleted recently, or
They shouldn't be. I mean, you can't find them there.
I think some of them.
Everything should be there.
Be on Ocho.
Unless.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, I have an issue with Rumble for a while, so I don't know about X or. I mean, not X.
No, YouTube is there because I was like looking for evidence, and I'll explain offline. But I was looking for stuff on YouTube and to find, and I was like, oh, it's here. But I noticed that you weren't posting anything on your YouTube channels. So are you just doing it on the Ocho channel? You're not going to do it on your channels then?
No, the wrestling is on the Ocho and on my channel, my personal channel, but not on the main INN channel.
Yeah, his wrestling stuff is never. Well, at least the second hour is never on.
Yeah, the second hour. So, yeah, so that's why I'm kind of confused on why it's not on X or not X. I keep saying X. Kick. It's on X, but I'm saying Kick or.
I mean, I'll check
Twitch,
again, but I
it
thought
should be all there.
Looked like
okay.
Some of them were deleted, but.
Well, okay, yeah. Make sure you go on the other platforms. We were talking about them here. Have a nice weekend. We'll see you guys next week for Pro Wrestling Talk and for Angel in the afternoon. So join us for that as well. And see you guys then.
Yep.
Nice weekend.
Bye.
All right. Let me get off on the other channel. Hold on. So,
does that include Rumble? You haven't been posting on Rumble either? Your two channels?
I can't.
Oh,
I don't know why. I mean,
really?
It's
It
just
won't let you?
I've been. No, I tried streaming there, but it just doesn't work. Like it always glitches out. So, so it's just weird. Yeah, I know. So that's why it's I kind of gave up on it. Oops, I don't want to delete it. Hold on.